Philosophically, what does Superman represent to people?
A friend, and that's what people really need most. They don't need you know, a strong arm, you know, one-man vigilante force. You need a friend. You know, we're living in an age when people are basically afraid of contact with each other. They're afraid. People live in cities. They don't even know their neighbors. They're afraid to go out in the street. Something might happen to them. Basically, technology is against you. Life is overwhelming. Even the bank doesn't know who you are. You know, and it's like, we run around scared a lot, particularly those of us who live in cities. And America was founded on the virtues of a helping hand, of going 5 miles to lend your neighbor a donkey or whatever he needed. And I think that is that kind of virtue that's at the bottom. That's the heart of Superman. The genuine love of people, and that you always know he's your friend.
Egghead News. Hey everybody, this is Spivey4994 coming to you with the latest and greatest episode from Egghead News. This was not hard, boys and girls. This one, we're talking about the upcoming Superman Legacy, the revision from James Gunn of the Superman character. That's right. We know there's been different renditions over the last couple of years, but James Gunn wants to bring it back home and give us the Superman that he knew and loved growing up when he grew up. Since taking over the DC Studios, DC Universe, Mr. Gunn is taking a leap forward, but he also is delving in the past. He has to get past some of the mistakes, mismanagement, and ill-advised production of previous management. So stay tuned. Take a good look at this video because we're enjoying this one. Superman Legacy by James Gunn.
What is your definition of happiness?
A clear horizon, nothing to worry about on your plate.
Oh, what the hell are you doing?
Man of Steel is a 2013 superhero film based on the DC Comics character Superman. Directed by Zack Snyder from a screenplay by David S. Goyer, it is the first installment in the new DC Extended Universe and a reboot of the Superman film series. Zack Snyder's intro into the DCEU would star Henry Cavill as Superman, followed with Amy Adams, Michael Shannon, Kevin Costner, Diane Lane, and Lawrence Fishburne, and of course, Russell Crowe as Zor-El. The Man of Steel grossed $291 million in the United States and Canada and $377 million in other territories for a worldwide total of $668 million, making it the highest grossing solo Superman film of all time and the second highest when adjusted for inflation. But needless to say, Houston, we have a problem. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is a 2016 American superhero film based on the DC comic characters Batman and Superman. Distributed by Warner Brothers Pictures, it is a follow-up to the 2013 film Man of Steel and is the second film in the DC Extended Universe. The film was directed by Zack Snyder, written by Chris Terrio and David S. Goyer, and features an ensemble cast that includes Ben Affleck as Batman and Henry Cavill returning as Superman, alongside, once again, Amy Adams, Jesse Eisenberg, Diane Lane, Lawrence Fishburne, Jeremy Irons, Holly Hunter, and Gal Gadot. Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is the first live-action film to feature both Batman and Superman together, as well as the first live-action cinematic portrayal of Wonder Woman. Okay, eggheads, I'm going to give it to you straight because that's the best way to give it. The film grossed $166 million in the United States and Canada in its opening weekend, the 8th biggest opening of all time, ahead of The Dark Knight Rises' $160.9 million. Batman vs. Superman in its second weekend experienced an historic drop of 81.2% from the box office. Both Batman and Superman brought one word into question at Warner Brothers, and that word was tone. The tone of these movies, the tone and personalities of these characters were not matching what people, the public, knew in general. What was going on? You want to be different than the kid across the street. Of course you do. But these heroes have to be the heroes that everybody knows and everybody loves. What were you thinking? The director-friendly studio was now in damage control. And what happened next, boys and girls, would not only change the DC extended universe, but also our interpretation of the DC superheroes forever.
Yeah, I mean, Josh is a great guy, and Zach picked a good person to come in and clean up and finish up for him.
Jason Momoa, Aquaman, said that the cast was treated shitty during the reshoots and serious things went down. Whedon would also have a timely release from Warner Media's The Nevers, a show he created, a claim that Ray Fisher said undoubtedly was about the investigation. Unfortunately, the chief of HBO, Casey Bloys, refused to comment on the situation. This then spiraled into December of 2020, with Wonder Woman's Gal Gadot stating her own personal experience with Whedon. Whedon had wanted to film a sexually charged scene in Justice League, one that made Gadot highly uncomfortable. Gadot refused and a body double was used in her place. According to the actress, her career was threatened and Whedon would do whatever he could to make her career miserable. Gadot generally disagreed with the direction of Whedon's Wonder Woman, stating it didn't flow properly with her other appearances and came off generally far more aggressive.
What the hell?
And there you have it. In a hole in the ground, there lived a hobbit. That's another story for another time. Let's stick to Warner Brothers DCEU. Now, I'm sure some of the heads out there are wondering why we are going down memory road. Is it memory road or memory lane? I don't know, one or the other. But there is a reason, boys and girls, why we're taking this little adventure down the yellow brick road. And that reason comes into one word, and that word is tone. Tone is the objective, and tone is the detriment of the previously called DCEU. Say what you like, Aquaman made $1 billion. The Joker in the Elseworld movie made $1 billion. Batman from Zack Snyder's Justice League, everybody loves it. It was spot on. But the general tone of the universe was not very heroic, not very inspiring, not very profitable. I know you don't like to hear that, but that's the way it is. The bottom line is the bottom line. And look what happened. Warner Brothers was sold. So everyone out there with your director-friendly attitude, the only problem with that is you got to make the big bucks to be director-friendly. You also want to be studio-friendly, but that did not happen. The studio was not friendly, and the studio was sold. So here we are. DC Studios is upon us. And why? Profits. Business. No one's playing games here, boys and girls. No one's going to tell you something completely false. I won't. The mismanaged and leaderless ship now has a leader. And that leader made a decision that maybe we need to start over, reboot, reconnect, redistribute, whatever you guys want to call it. That leader said we must start over, and we must start over with Superman.